Larry Spur is there. Says thank you for the game. It was amazing. Appreciate it, Larry. Cheers for the game. I don't know if you were watching at any point, but you played very, very well. After the shaky start in the opening with this knight c5 stuff. Okay, let's go ourselves for an Italian. Bishop c4, and they go for h6, which is the name of the variation. I've literally covered it for a Chessfactor video before, but now it is escaping me. And I think that there is, I'm not sure, but I seem to recall there is some kind of d5 line, d5 line as an option. Black here, if e5, d5, e5, d5 takes. Doesn't seem like much for black, actually. So maybe that's not what I'll do. Instead, I want to find some other approach. Maybe rook e1, but then bishop c5. If bishop c5, then I go e5. And then he doesn't have d5 because I'll take here with check. So now I feel like my threat really is e5, because if he has to go knight g4, it's an ugly square. If he has to go back, that's also, of course, an ugly square. And if he goes here, again, it's an ugly square and some g4 tricks as well. Might win the knight. So rook e1 it is. Yeah, it's the anti-fried liver attack. That's actually it. So he's actually gone for bishop c5. But I'm interested to see what he has planned against e5, because I think that this is serious problem. So thank you, Biscuit Frey, for giving us the opening, dropping some opening names on us. Jack Kate says, tired, that's dangerous nowadays. It wouldn't be a proper stream without at least a reference to the coronavirus. Okay, so knight d2, the idea is he did find a different square, probably the most reasonable square, actually, h7. And I am down a pawn for now, but I'm not too concerned. I think his best bet here was d5, and then maybe I would have been slightly concerned. No, I don't really think even there that I'm especially concerned. I think maybe black is hovering somewhere around equal, maybe unless white is really precise. But here, the reason I'm not concerned is, although I'm down a pawn, we're all familiar with gambits. We know that sometimes, very often in openings, it is okay to sacrifice a pawn. Like, that's the minimum amount of material that you can sacrifice. So you don't need such crazy amounts of factors to be in your favor as if you sacrifice, let's say, a rook, right? To make a rook sacrifice make sense, you better have a lot of other things going in exchange for that, decisive quantity of material. But to sacrifice a pawn, all you need sometimes is a little bit more development. That's what I have here. And maybe, or some other factor like more space. I also have that here because this pawn cramps the black position. And I think that in this case, I have both of these factors. I have more development, so a bit of an initiative. And I have this nice pawn here on e5, which is very difficult for him to win. And it's making it very difficult for this bishop to ever escape, and thus for the whole queenside pieces to enter the game. And his knight on h7 is also badly placed. So I feel like I have a lot of different factors in my favor. And so that's sort of why I'm not worried about this particular move, about this particular position, the fact that I'm down a pawn. So I'm going queen d2. The idea here is that I have a lot of pieces. A lot of my minor pieces are all my minor pieces are either on the king side or they're pointing towards the king side. I really don't believe this move. And I just kind of want to automatically sacrifice here. Because, after he goes pawn takes, my idea is bishop takes, and then his queen is going to be stuck. And if he goes knight takes, then my idea is knight f6 check. And when he moves his king, then I can take here. So this is what I'm actually doing. I've pre-moved pawn takes knight just in case he does that, because the last thing I would want to do is pre-move queen takes knight, and then he plays this move. But it's not because I think it's the best move in the position. I think if he goes queen takes, pawn takes, the position is lost because and that's actually what he's gone ahead and done. So this position is lost because if you look at the pure material count, you might say, well, black has 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, 4 minor pieces, same amount of rooks, no queen. So basically, a little bit of basic subtraction, right? And you've got three pieces for the queen, for black. And then if you look at the pawn tally, you see that black is down 1 pawn. And so you say queen and pawn, and you might say queen is worth about 9 points, pawn is worth 1. So it's like 10 points or so, give or take. And 3 minor pieces are worth 9 points, so material is approximately level. The problem with that approach is that it doesn't factor in the most important element, which is that black's pieces are not in the game. So essentially, a rook and bishop is worth almost the 3 minor pieces that he's got for the queen, but they're completely out of the game. This whole section of the position of the board is out of the game. And this bishop, even though it's developed, is also out of the game. And all of these pieces here, even the 2 developed pieces, are completely away from the defense of the king side. So he's actually, overall, he's not down so much material, but currently he's down a tremendous amount of material. And I think already this move here, rook takes e6, works. Just eliminating the defender. And actually, there was actually a beautiful idea. I think there was a beautiful idea. I'll show it now in a second. But yeah, so I think there might have been a very cute, of course, rook takes e6 is, I think, objectively speaking, the best move here. But I just saw a cute little idea, queen g5 check. And the point is that I want, if he moves his king, only then will I take. So then that would invite knight takes, rook takes check, king here. And now this check is sort of the cute point. And the point is that after he goes king here, I can go check, and he has to go knight h7. And now at this point, I go f4. And I cover this square, creating the threat of mate. And now he would have to go king h5. And now I go h3. And I renew the threat of mate. And now he would have to go king h4, because none of these pieces can be activated in any way. There are no checks. This does not get there fast in time or whatever. So he'd have to go here. And now king h2. And the point is, my threat is once again rook takes h7. And I've just covered the g3 square. So just out of curiosity, I'm wondering if this line here, is indeed checkmate. So after, it says, of course, taking on e6 is best. But if you played queen g5, it says knight takes g5 here. This is forced mate here. Bishop d3. And you see that anything else, and actually the position is in black's favor. King h6, rook h8, knight h7, and f4. You can see. And then h3 is actually one of the fastest ways. Bishop f5 is actually maybe cuter. d3 and then move and then take, because you have this nice symmetry. But h3, king h4, and then king h2 to create this. So this would have been totally unnecessary. The other checkmate was faster. But I don't know. For me, I think most players who like chess, they like tactics. They like these kind of cute little tactical ideas. So I just got a little bit sidetracked there.